Okay, hello everybody. Claude Diamond here. Want to talk about sales. I am the author of the Sales Method, great untraditional, unorthodox techniques of sales. I've written several books on gut sales. This is the rules of guts. The mentor teaches the gut sales method, how to sell with guts. The mentor teaches the gut sales method. All these books. I've written 9 books on sales. I love sales. Sales changed my life. That's why I love coming on here talking to you guys. I'm in Winter Park, Colorado, up here. I live here and in California. Sales changed my life. I was probably the former world's worst salesperson. And I had a mentor who taught me how to sell, and his methods of selling were totally unconventional. They were different from everything I ever learned about sales. He made sales fun. He made it change my life financially. It just changed everything about it, and that's why I love sharing it with you guys. I wanted to talk today. Basically, don't break the rules in sales. Okay, some of the stuff they're teaching out there, it's either very old, it's not contemporary, it doesn't apply to today. And it is so touchy-feely that you'll never go to the bank. Why are we in business? We're in business to go to the bank today. I have about half my clients are in real estate. The rest are in the different aspects of sales, like insurance, financial services, car sales, upscale car sales. Sales is the $1,000,000 skill. But if you're following the conventional rules, what is some of them? Ask for the order 5 times or more. That's just annoying. Okay. And if you think I have a list here. I made this. I actually prepare for these things, guys. And I just wanted to share with you some of the ideas I have that helped me to create a multi-million-dollar business in sales without a lot of overhead, without a lot of employees. Thank you for the thumbs up. And Aaron Chell 82. Let's go, Uncle Claude. I hate scripts. Love thespians. Okay, thespians, not a dirty word. And Aaron brings up a good part. In fact, here, I'll show it to you. I even wrote it down here. Use a script. Scripts are caca. Okay, guys. You've got to, if you're going to be successful and you want to make the money you make, using a generic scripts, there's some, I get in trouble on this because all the gurus, they have these gigantic thick books of scripts, if you've ever heard any of my videos. And the trouble is, reading a script to somebody, don't they know when people call you up right away, they're reading a script. Don't you know that? They're not treating you as an individual. They're just reading this garbage that somebody else wrote. And the key to great sales is to ask questions, is to play a role, okay? Is to be kind of now I was going to say thespian, a little bit of a psychiatrist, a therapist, somebody. Learn to ask the right questions, stimulate a conversation with people. Okay, don't, one of the things, so don't use a script, use a system. Guts is 3 simple steps. I always show this. This is my mind map here. 3 simple steps: agenda, you can see it down there, a qualification, and close. 3 simple steps, and then there's baby steps. You got to have a system, and you want to learn to be that charismatic salesperson, somebody who's fun to talk to. How do you get good at that? You get a system, you understand the psychology, and you practice, okay? I don't care. I always tell my students, I have a lot of students, I have many students right now. In fact, we're scheduling people way into late fall or early winter, end of the year now. Because I'm only one person, and I love teaching. I love having people come to me who are having difficulty in sales. They don't feel like they're having control. They're uncomfortable with the whole process. I love teaching them my system, same way my mentor taught me, and practicing and role playing. And then they come to me in 30 days, 60 days, and they say, Claude, I'm doubling my sales. I'm talking to more people. I'm getting more orders. I had one of my students today. We didn't start too long ago, and he is making more money per week than he used to make per year. I mean, he's high 5 figures, approaching 6 figures per month. Okay. And I don't think he has the easiest product in the world to sell, but he's just so great at it right now. So let me go through a few of these things that I believe work for you. Stop using scripts. Learn how to speak to people spontaneously. Learn how to ask questions. Use the steps. Set an agenda with people. Hey, I'd like to. What's your biggest challenge? What's your problem? Why are we speaking today, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect? Why are you selling that home? And go in the complete opposite direction. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Hot tea, best thing for a throat. And just learn to converse with people. Ask those questions. Even if you write those questions out ahead of time, get the prospect emotionally involved. Here's a rule: don't use a script. Don't give a presentation. Don't give a premature presentation. Salesperson gets a prospect on the phone. First thing they do is they give their slideshow, they go through their keynote, and they go blah, blah, blah forever. The first thing you want to do with a prospect is maybe use something called a little reverse psychology or redirection. Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, why are you selling that home? Or you don't really want to buy a home now. You're in a nice apartment for a reasonable rent. Or why are you looking to buy life insurance? You've gone this far without it. You force the secret of the gut sales method is that this is important if you're taking notes. We make the prospect into the salesperson. They do all the work. We sit back, la la la, and we take notes. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. This is interesting. Do you mind if I take some notes? And that's what we call a stroke. Get the prospect emotionally involved. It's $1 million rule. I teach it to all my students. People make decisions quickly, very quickly, when they become emotional. Look at when you watch on TV and stuff and people are acting emotional. They're not always making the best decisions or doing the right thing. Something happens to us physically, mentally, when we get into an emotional state. And that is about the best time for a good gut salesperson to want to go for the close. Okay. So you want to turn it around, ask questions to that prospect and find out and get them talking about their needs, qualify them up front. Okay. My 3 favorite words in sales are I don't know. People ask me questions. Oh, well, what are you going to do? And this, and I don't know. You must have asked that question for a reason. Why are we talking today? What would you like to see happen before the end of this conversation? I don't know are 3 of the most powerful words in the English line in sales. Okay. Because you force, instead of being cross-examined, let's figure it out. When you get a prospect on the phone, aren't you cross-examined? Okay. It's like you're on the witness stand or something. When you say, I don't know, good question. You must have asked that for a reason. Could you help me out? Why did you bring that up? Everything they bring up, you turn around to get more information. And the prospect, this is important, will tell you how to sell them. They will they will tell you how much money they have, what their budget is, what their greatest issue, pain, problem, need, greed is. They'll tell you all this. They'll tell you how to sell them. So instead of giving a long, boring presentation, okay, or reading that useless caca script, you get them to talk more than you, and they'll tell you exactly. They'll put it on a silver platter. I said this the other day when I was doing sales presentation. Excuse me, another sip of my lovely tea. What am I drinking here today? Twinings English breakfast tea. Very good. I don't eat all day. I only eat 1 meal a day. I drink a lot of tea, black coffee. Love Fuji water. Overpriced water, isn't it? 3 something a bottle for water. Isn't that crazy? Water costs more than beer now. Isn't that crazy? But I digress. So you don't want to give a presentation as much as you want to get the prospect talking about what they're looking for, what their needs are. Have fun with the conversation. Is it okay to close people in the first phone call? Okay, absolutely. I have closed deals, contracts, consultations, mentoring, real estate deals in the first phone call. Now, to a lot of people, being aggressive in sales, that's a big no-no. Oh, we don't want to push. Why not? Look at it this way. If the need or greed or pain, we call it the emotional quotient. We have a 1 through 10 scale. If it's an 8, 9, or 10, when does somebody want a resolution to a problem? I'll give you a great example. I'm here in Colorado. It's beautiful, by the way. I don't know if you can see out there. The leaves are turning. The aspens are yellow. Yeah, you can see that, I think. I'm in my office here, and I needed a couple trees taken down. So I went into Yelp. I called people. I left messages and everything like that. And the response rate was really low, really low. Well, I had this one local handyman. I texted him. I sent him a couple of pictures. He said, I can be there tomorrow, Saturday, and take them down. He responded quickly. The problem is gone. I didn't want these trees are dead and they're leaning, and I didn't want them to fall on my house and have $20,000 worth of roof damage. So he responded right away. To me, it wasn't a question of the money or shopping for the best deal. It was getting somebody to respond right away. So if you can, and this goes a little bit to marketing and things, but when you're speaking to a prospect, ask, what's your greatest issue? What's your greatest challenge right now, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect? Hey, you've got a house already. Why would you want to sell it? You've got land for sale. How long have you owned it? 15 years? Why don't you keep it another 15 years? You're forcing them to become the salesperson. They will give the presentation. They will qualify themselves. They will even give you the order. They'll do the close for you if you know how to ask the right questions the right way. Eventually, you will have to get to features and benefits, but that comes in the back end. That comes in the close on the gut sales method in my book, How to Sell with Gut. You want this book? If you guys want this book, go to it's in the description there. Go to my webpage, ClaudeDiamond.com, and just go into you'll see the scheduling section there and there. Just go in there and put some information. And today I'll send you a free copy of my book, or just go to mentor@mac.com. I'm easy to reach, easy to find, and I love making sales fun, simple. I want people to go to the bank, but traditional sales, just making these phone calls. Hi, how are you today? I'm just reaching out. Are you having a good day? Hey, oh God, it's such bullshit selling. It really is. Why are we in business? And I know I'm I'm a New Yorker. No shit. I'm a New Yorker, escaped to San Diego. I climbed the wall. My wife and I moved to San Diego, oh God, 30 something years ago. I love Southern California. Forget the politics. I know what you're saying. I know it's a Soviet socialist state of Southern. It's crazy land. It's la la land, but it's still the weather's great in the winter there. And I also live in Colorado and in North Carolina and stuff like that. Only because I have a good life. I have a prosperous life, a fulfilling life. I'm a happy guy. I am debt free because of sales. Okay, you guys are working on the wrong set of the I had another client today who was talking all about, oh my God, oh, look who's here, Damon Boudreau, my friend. Damon, how are you, buddy? How was that? You guys just had a class 2 hurricane, didn't you? Stroke, nurture, and redirect, get more information. How are you, buddy? Good to hear from you. And I saw your videos too, Damon. Damon Boudreau has some great videos on there. Aaron says, needs-based questions have led to more sales. Yes. Be a doctor. When the patient comes in to see the doctor, what does the doctor say? Hey, we're having a special on knee surgery today, 20% off. Get on the table. Let's go. What card would you like to use? You wouldn't go to a doctor like that. I hope not. Okay. They don't do that. They say, why are you here? When did it start hurting? On a 1 through 10, how bad is it hurting you? Did it hurt your mother and father? Have you ever had surgery before? Can I poke you and do a little blood test and blood pressures? That's what a good doctor does. What does a good lawyer do? You come into them with a problem or something like that. Gee, what did you get? Letters? Boom, boom, boom. They ask questions. Do you mind? Here's the key. Do you mind when a professional, you have a problem or an issue? And here's the beauty for you folks in real estate. What do people in real estate do? They advertise. They say, I've got a property. Now, you don't know if they're behind in their payments, behind in their taxes. They got a job change. They're getting a family change, a divorce. They're getting married. They're moving. It's a million different things. Can you find out that emotional trigger, that need? And then can you say, you know what? I have a few ideas for you, a few solutions. It's okay to say no to me, or fire me, or whatever you want to do. But I have a few ideas. I'd love to do business with you. And I think I can show you a way to save money, to sell the property, to save time, to remove that financial burden. Boom. So you've got, instead of giving them a present, so no scripts, no premature presentations. Say I don't know a lot of times to people. Get them talking more than you. And I know there's a couple people out there. Have you ever met the person? Yup. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do you ever get the person who doesn't talk? Okay. They can't complete full sentences, or they change the subject. Or you ask them a simple question. You like vanilla or chocolate? Well, I don't know. I was thinking of having maybe a fruit cocktail instead, or everything. And then they change. Boom. You have to stay in control, but not sound controlling. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Really, I always appreciate that. And Damon, you're doing well. Good. If you guys have a question or anything, put it in the chat box there. I love the interaction. I think things that, break the rules, guys. It's okay to be assertive. Remember, I was just doing that doctor analogy. It's okay to be assertive when the prospect's perception is that you're going to help them. You're going to save them money, remove time, get the delivery there quicker. We work too hard, and make the prospect do all the work. Let them do everything. Let me see some. Is it okay to fire the prospect? I think so. You have to present yourself. What is the role you need to play? What is the perception you want you want your prospects to think of you? Oh, this person's desperate. They're in a sales contest and they've never seen Mexico. They're like, I always use this analogy. Do you ever, like a little chihuahua at the table begging on steak night? Okay, that's what a salesperson sounds like to most prospects. You're bothering me. You're an uninvited guest. You're begging and everything. You need to sound like the doctor, you want to sound like this very success. You want to sound like pure success and competence. That's the key. Claude is great. Learned a lot from him. Thank you. Learned a lot from you too, Damon. Hope everything's well on there. God, Louisiana, man. When I see, the minute I think Louisiana, you know what's in my mind? I'm thinking the best food in this country. If you folks have never been to New Orleans or Louisiana, they got the best food in this country. That French Cajun, oh my God, the gumbo and étouffée and boudin. Okay, all that great stuff there. Oh, the shrimp and everything and the crawfish. It's just so, I'm making you hungry now, right? That's part of sales too, isn't it? It's okay to be to be assertive and to play a role when you're speaking to a prospect. You have prospects, sometimes they want to ask you 30, 40 questions. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. I'm really sorry. I wish I had more time. I have a closing. I have 3 other appointments. I've got about 10 follow-up phone calls. How can you and I do business today? Would you like to do business today, or should we go? Or boom, cut to the chase, get to the point. Okay. It's okay to be a little bit assertive. I know, we want to be nice and kind, and that's okay too. You can be charismatic and you can be nice, but shouldn't you this is subjective, you guys can disagree with me, shouldn't you put a value on your time, knowledge, and energy? When you go to a prospect and say, man, I'm busy. I'm sorry. I'd love to help you. Bottom line, why are we talking today? What would you like to see happen? If I could help you fix that problem, do you have a budget set up so that we could work together or we could do a deal? How do you usually make decisions of this nature? Are you the decision maker? Are you the owner of the property? These are kind of questions. And why you're asking these questions, and Damon mentioned that in the chat box there, stroke, nurture, empathy, redirect the question. Great question. Why did you ask that? I'm so glad you brought that up. I had somebody once say to me, Claude, why should I work with you? Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe I'm not the right. I only work with people who want one-on-one accountability, someone who answers their phone, returns phone calls. I don't have 20 assistants and adjunct coaches and things like that. I just work one-on-one with my clients, and that may not be, you don't want that kind of accountability, do you? Oh, you do? Oh, that's the problem you had with boom. We're in the business of, and I don't like to use a lot of bad language, but sometimes it's appropriate, and we're all adults here. Sometimes, and my mentor used to always say this, you got to turn chicken shit into chicken salad, okay? When they give you a stall or an objection or they attack you, turn it around as a bonding moment. You don't have to be defensive all the time. Break the rules, guys. Break all the darn rules. If they go to you and attack you, well, maybe you shouldn't work with me. I don't know. You cost a lot. You're right. I'm a lot more expensive than my competition. Why do you think so many people pay us so much more money for our product or service or real estate or whatever we do? Why do you think they pay us more? Well, they must be crazy. You're right. All my clients for the last 5 years, 10 years are all crazy. That's right. Come on, sir. Do you think there's a difference? And then so never be defensive of your product or service if you can justify it to them, if you bring greater value. That's, it's one of those keys. Be intuitive. I had a client today. He said, Claude, I had a person, I didn't know if they wanted to pay me in full or if we had to do financing. And I kind of just went with my gut. And I told him, hey, would you like to put half down now and half and the other half in 30 days? And the guy, said, that's exactly what I needed. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And the prospect was thanking him because my sales guy went intuitively. He went with his gut instincts. And sometimes you have to do that. Okay. Just go for it. Okay. When you go to a prospect and you're having this nice little free consultation thing, you have to stop and say, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I've made a decision. I'd like to help you solve this problem. Would you like to move forward today or tell me to get lost? I think they like that kind of assertiveness. I think people don't mind you being aggressive if they feel it's in their best interest. What's another one I have here it's okay to go for the close in the first phone call. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I'd like to make you an offer on your property, on your land, on your service. And if we and it's okay to say no to me or fire me. Don't worry about it. But I'd like to know. Or sometimes they'll go to you, well, I have to talk to my significant other or partner. That's great. But my offer expires at 4:30 today. I have so many people calling me. I can't hold this offer open. When you get prospects, they all say, oh, well, I can't do it right now, but let's talk in a couple of weeks. I can't do that, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect. Do you know why? Because this property, this deal, this offer is going to be off the table maybe this weekend. I use a lot of the psychology of Robert Cialdini. Thank you for the hearts. Scarcity, social proof, know, like, and trust. I'm looking at my list here so I don't forget anything. I use authority sometimes. You want somebody who acts like an expert. And for those of you just getting started, go to my favorite university. Fake it until you make it. It's okay. It's okay. Consistency, reciprocity. There's a lot of sales trainers out there. They say give and give some more and give them everything they want and everything, but they don't tell you to ask. And I don't believe in bothering asking for the order 5 times more. I think that's just annoying. I think you just go, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, this is what I can do. You told me you had these problems, and can you imagine for a moment, 30 days from now, we have your house sold, we have the deal done. I don't know how you feel about that. Would you like to see some resolution and get this over with so you can go buy your RV and go see the Grand Canyon or the world's largest ball of string or something like that? There's so many. I always say sales is dangerous. Okay. Because somebody could reject you. Why do people have so much trouble with sales? Because it affects our ego. When someone we've all had that phone call when the prospect is having a bad day, or you're the 10th person to call them, and then they're a little snippy. They would never treat anyone they know like they treat an uninvited guest. There's something called the 11th commandment. You guys who are online right now, the 11th commandment. It means that you can treat a salesperson like shit and still get into heaven. Okay, so don't act like a salesperson. Break the rules. Do things differently. We don't have time for it today. I was going to, believe it or not, I was going to keep this short, under 30 minutes. My daughter once gave me the greatest compliment in the world. She said, "Dad, you could talk to peeling wallpaper for 15 minutes." And I love what I do. I love helping people solve their issues, especially in sales. Okay. You could have the best product in the world. You could be very knowledgeable on that product. You've done your marketing, and it still doesn't matter if you can't do the conversion. If you can't get that person to say, yes, I feel good about you. I always say this, we're in a super competitive world. Especially, you folks in real estate and insurance, financial sales, it's a very competitive world. What's the decision that the prospect will make to work with you today? How do they make that decision? Well, maybe they like you. They enjoyed the conversation. You made them smile. You made them laugh. You offered them a competitive delivery or service. Okay, maybe you weren't the cheapest in town, but you offered them the removal of their pain, of their issues. Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I know I charge more than my competition, but here's the thing. I can give you people who would do it much cheaper than me, but it won't happen for another 90, 120 days. Suppose we could solve this problem in the next 15 days. Wouldn't be worth paying a slightly higher fee, would it? Or commission? You people who discount your stuff, you real estate agents and stuff, don't discount. There's a lot of people like myself. We want quality. We want resolution. We want it done timely. I like things done. When I set out on a project, if somebody can get it and it's painful to me, and they can get it done quickly, boom, you got it. Be a premium gut salesperson. Learn how to ask questions. Learn how to qualify quickly. Learn how to answer, and this is it. People always ask you questions. Turn their questions into your questions. Stroke and nurture. Hey, that was a great question. If you found a solution to that, you wouldn't make a commitment to take care of it today, would you? Boom. Sometimes you can close people and qualify them in just the first couple of minutes. I give my students a little thing here. You guys who are watching, you remember this little 3-minute timer, 180 seconds here. And this is the highest award in gut sales that I give my students, because in 180 seconds, don't you instinctually know whether or not you have a prospect or a time waster? Don't you know that? Okay. A lot of times, prospects are really smart, by the way. They have a system. They will compliment you. Oh, wonderful. You answered your own phone. I just have one more question. I just have a few questions. And you get cross-examined. You answer all these questions. And 45 minutes later, oh, God bless you. Thank you so much. I'll think about this and I'll get back to you. Never, which is really what they mean. Do you have rights in the sales process? Yes, you do. Do you have a right to, before you give all that hard information and spend 45 minutes or get in your car and drive God knows where, do you have the right to get information, qualification? Do you have the right to get commitment from people? Can you close people in one phone call? I know the other gurus say you can't be too pushy and aggressive. I think you can be. When someone is in pain, if you had a toothache, how fast would you want it removed? Like that, right? That's gut selling, going for it. And not to be, I don't believe in bullying people or intimidating them, but I think we can get to the point in sales really quick on there. So here, I'm looking at my notes here. Is it okay to fire the prospect? Yeah. If you get a prospect on the phone, they want to ask you a bunch of questions, but you got to qualify them for, when should you qualify people for money? My guys and girls who are listening right now, when should you qualify people for money? In the beginning, the middle, or the end? How many of you have gone to prospects, given tons of information, followed up, spent a fortune on marketing and gurus and everything else, and then the prospect says, hey, I had this happen to me. I'm not perfect. When I first started, I remember getting in a car, driving in traffic, picking up the tab at the steak dinner, and the prospect said, Claude, this is great. You're wonderful. And, if I had the money, I would make a commitment right now. I just can't do it right now. When do you want to find out about that stuff? After all that time and trouble and waste, or do you want to find it up front? You have rights in the sales process. Okay? It's time to change. It's time to sell differently. Absolutely. It doesn't matter to me what the economy is, what the politics, the presidential thing, and all that nonsense, whether it's inflation, whether interest rates go up. Great salespeople always go to the bank. Remember that. Great. It's the greatest, it's the $1 million skill. How do you get good at it? You learn a system. You learn how to ask questions. You learn the science behind it. Okay? You've got to sell differently than your competition. If you're just a give person all the time, once in a while you'll get a sale, but don't you want to be someone who's financially free? You've got to sell in a different way. You've got to learn that asking for the order, reading a script, giving presentations, these are all parts of sales, but you want to get to the bank. That's the whole purpose of it. You got to impress on your prospects that you're a busy, successful person. You need to play that role. I have all the time in the world for you, Mr. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, call you back later. Oh, yeah. Wrong. You're busy. You are successful. You always have people to speak to. You have a limited amount of product and services, scarcity, and you are allowed to use reciprocity. Mr. and Mrs. Prosper, I don't know. I'm struggling here. I don't know if I can do. You know what? If I make an exception and I can get that delivery to you much faster. You said you want it when? By Tuesday? Maybe I can ask my boss and get a favor and get a special truck out to you. If I can do that, can we make a commitment right now? And can I have more? Can we do business on a regular, weekly, or monthly basis, not just a one shot? Boom. That's called reciprocity. So many different aspects of sales. You know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to take my run today. I run 10 miles every day because I love running, and then I take a swim. And I just take care of yourself. And remember, here's my book, How to Sell with Guts. If you guys want a copy, all you got to do, go to my webpage, ClaudeDiamond.com, send me a text. Focus on the sales. Okay. Last word. You could have the best leads. You could be the smartest, most intelligent person. You could spend the most money. But in the end, are you a closer? Do people know, like, and trust you and want to give you a commitment? Do you want to go to the bank? I get into trouble here. What is the second best feeling in the world? It's when you, off the sweat off your own brow, you close somebody. You got paid today. You got a contract today. You got a commitment today, a follow-up appointment today. How important is it for you to feel good about yourself? You can't just wing it. You've got to have a system. You've got to practice. This is what I do with my students. We role play. Oh my God, we role play. They bring me the stalls, the object, and my greatest satisfaction when they go back out and then we have Monday group meetings where we practice there, and they come back and I do something called open forum, and my students all say, Claude, I made a sale. I made 10,000, 50,000. I doubled my quota. I get so much satisfaction out of that. Sales, I know it's scary because sales is the big unknown, but it's a skill set. It's the $1 million skill set, and you can get so good at it that you'll have fun with it, and you'll make a lot of money too. It's the $1 million skill. This is Claude Diamond. My webpage is ClaudeDiamond.com. I do answer my own phone. 619-206-5960. Nobody deserves success more than you good people. Thanks to all my chat room friends and those of you who gave me thumbs up and stuff like that. Thank you. Have a great, wonderful, safe weekend. And remember, nobody deserves success more than you good people. Take care. Bye-bye. Give good phone too.